browner and browner as the winter goes, some of them. And it looks like we're back for another opportunity to share with the world the information of holistic hair restoration. Good day, folks. My name is Ron L. Thomas Sr., and I am a holistic hair restoration specialist, one of the only few that are in the world. And what does that mean? That means that we have spent the time to do research on the human body concerning the hair, scalp, and skin, and we've put formulations together and we've given advice over the past 31 years that has been absolutely phenomenal for people who are looking and hoping to get a better understanding. We're actually doing our YouTube live, and we're live on Facebook at the same time. And I see we have Sister Barner out there. How are you, Sister Barner? The whole BioStrand mission and the holistic hair restoration mission is to help you save your own hair. Now, I know that we're in a time when a lot of women are using hair pieces and prosthetics and all those different things, which are fine. We're not here to judge or direct you one way or the other. Normally, I just have our pictures in the backdrop, but what I've chosen to do today is to actually get those products on camera as well so we can talk about them, so you can understand. You hear all this talk about holistic hair restoration, but the question is, what does that really mean? What it means is the ability to detoxify, reoxygenate, introduce natural supplements and nutrients into your hair while controlling bacteria and toxicity and grooming your hair all at the same time. Wow. Now that's a lot going on. But when you consider the structure of your hair is composed, whatever complexion you are, whatever shape or dynamic your hair is, thick, thin, coarse, blonde, brown, brunette, black, white, whatever color your hair is composed of 5 basic elements: carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, and sulfur. And those 5 elements, when there's an absence of oxygen, can be extremely, extremely volatile when interacting with each other. So that's where you see and hear a lot of the hair popping, the hair breaking, and all these different things happening to your hair. So it's important that what you're doing is looking for solutions, because depending on who you are, you're targeted in different ways by big manufacturers making products that don't necessarily do anything to benefit you naturally or holistically, but those same products are, how should I say it? They make you have a certain look on your hair for a certain period of time. But if you know the truth, and the reason why you've got so many products in your bathroom, even under the sink in the kitchen and stored in hall closets, is because you use those products and they don't work. There have been multiple products that have come out. They do the first time, subscription low price order for under $35, and then when you get your next subscription order, it's $200+ for the exact same products that they almost gave away. Well, if you think about it, that kind of reminds you of how nefarious people who are looking to get you to use their off-street pharmaceuticals will introduce something to you for almost nothing until you get attached to it, and then now you're connected to that individual and whatever their operation is that may not necessarily be legal. So while this is all under the banner of corporate umbrellas, and I'm not attacking anyone, I'm speaking generally, that these products, many of them, are not long-term beneficial to you. At BioStrand, we deal with a discipline called holistic hair restoration, and we look at that. What are we looking at? For example, we're not just talking about your hair. The slogan for the whole concept is building your hair from the inside out. So when you come into contact with a person like me, I'm going to encourage you to Drink your natural juice. Here, I've got a beet blend here with several different vitamins and nutrients in here to help supplement and support the hair root. Any topical product is not going to do everything that you need to affect toxins that enter your body. Right now in the Chicagoland area, they have a warning to wear masks when you're outside because there's such a heavy blanketing of fire, and not fire, but the smoke from a wildfire up in Canada. Now, atmospherically, we're dealing with a lot of different things. So you see that smoke and the resin of that smoke landing on your hair even is going to dry your hair and negatively affect your hair. So those are things. Hi, Yvonne and Angelita Mendez. Thanks for watching. And if you all have any questions, just put them up on the screen for us. We'd love to answer them. Or you can call us at 677, and let me tell you the number, 708-677-2313. And I'll put you on speaker, and if you have any questions, you don't have to be on camera. I can just answer those questions for you. If you have a testimonial and a cool comment to share with us, we'd appreciate it. If you are challenged with your hair and don't know what to do with your hair, please call us. We'd like to be able to have you say, I met Ron Thomas and my hair, I had lost all hope, which I've heard so many times. So let me tell you how that happens. We start with a basic formulation or consideration by creating a simple system that you see here on my left, probably your right. And these 5 products here is what's called the BioStrand basic program. Signature collection. We used to call it the basic program. And now it's called the signature collection. It consists of a pre-cleanse called ToxiCleanse, and then it gets simple. You have Cleansmay Step 1, which is a normalizing cleanser for your hair. Cortifex Step 2, which is a highly lubricious, premium hair replenishing formulation for hair, intensified hair conditioning. And then you have your Formay Step 3. This is Cortifex Step 2. Step 3 is Formay. And then Step 4 here, the little guy, is Finay, which is a hair strengthening polish. So we're creating a complete exposure. In the mist, the Formay, you have an antibacterial effect. You have moisturization and oxygenation going into the hair to protect it from heat damage, from blow drying damage, from sun damage, wind damage, any type of exterior damage. In the extreme heat, when it's drying out your hair, you can mist up to 3 times a day, 4 times, depending on the thickness and the coarseness of your hair with this formula. Why? Because your hair needs oxygen and is constantly using oxygen. That's what's important to realize. And so when we're doing this process, the goal is to constantly supplement the hair, to continuously replenish is the term that we use. So you're misting with this product. Now, guess what? In the cold winter, guess what happens? This product also will keep your hair oxygenated, toxin protected, and replenished and responsive. Because remember, you've got the 5 basic elements. You've got carbon, you've got oxygen, you've got nitrogen, you've got hydrogen, nitrogen, and then sulfur. Carbon's hard and gritty. Hydrogen is gaseous. Oxygen is obviously gaseous and elusive. Oxygen moves quickly. If fire comes into a structure, oxygen is the first one to sacrifice itself to contain that fire, or to contain, boom, like an explosion that would come from hydrogen. You see, so is it any interest that hydrogen falls on this finger? You know what I mean? It's because it's explosive. Everything that's measured is measured by potential hydrogen. What does that mean? The more hydrogen is active in your hair, the more at risk and damage your hair is. So when you hear your hair popping, you hear your hair breaking and dry and brittle, sounding like twigs, depending on what type of texture you have, that's because too much hydrogen is active in your hair and is boom, 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 breaking your hair from the inside out. So the reason why you need to use a formulation like our lead formula, Form A, I'm going to spray it first, but now I'm going to do this. I can just do that all day. Just mist my hair. I don't have to, once I've combed and styled, I don't have to go back and comb it or do anything. And you don't either. If you got a blow dry, if you've got whatever type of style, especially if you have locks and things like that, or hair weave, or interlocking, and different things that inhibit the scalp, and it's hard for you to get to your scalp, then this particular formula that will absorb, especially if you have natural hair added, it helps to enhance that natural hair that's added, but it's also going to help control bacteria. We've had stories of people with all type of gnats and pustules and various maggots and flies that get caught in their hair that's added. And yeah, these stories, you just got to Google, that's all, and ask about spinal meningitis. How many people have died from the bacteria that comes from the hair weaves and things like that? You see, it just depends on who's dying that type of information is brought public. So we're not here to scare you. What we're here to do is say to you that as a holistic hair restoration specialist like myself, that there are a lot of things that affect your body. And if you don't pay attention to the fact that they will sometimes cut a weft of hair from a person's head to understand how they passed, there's a reason for that, because almost everything that happens to and in your body will come to the surface through your hair growing out. You see? So it's imperative that you pay attention. And, when we first started doing our Facebook Lives, Yvonne Knox is on with us. Nelson Knox is on with us now. She started with very thin, very fine hair. She now has color-treated hair, and she's locked now, and her hair looks absolutely nice and thick, her strands and all that. And I remember when I met Yvonne, her hair was very fine, very not cool at all. We started rebuilding it, and she saw the effects of BioStrand, and Yvonne has stayed with this product. So I'm going to say again, anybody who'd like to call, I'm going to say the number slow, 708-677-2313. If you call me now, I'll have a conversation with you about your hair and about how BioStrand can help you. So let me review that again. You've got your pre-cleanse ToxiCleanse that removes all of the excessive buildup and things that are caked on your scalp, stuck to your hair strand, whether you know it or not. These types of non-ionic formulas is what they're called. They're the same type of molecule, so it keeps your hair pushing away from itself. I don't know if you've ever seen someone with electrostatic hair. That's because they have styled their hair with products that are not balanced to the human body or to the natural atmosphere of the types of molecules that should be on the hair strand. It's basically scientific manipulation of your hair, making you think that your hair is manageable when your hair is actually encased in these glassy molecules that are holding your hair hostage. And guess what's happening under those molecules? Crack, break. That's why you start seeing hair all over your clothes, hair all over the sink, and it's almost uncontrollable. You have got to deal with the fact that your hair has a structure. It may be microcosmic, but your hair strand is made up of tiny little links that are supposed to hold together. But when your hair gets dragged and pulled apart, where the two linkages are barely holding, when hydrogen starts exploding, boom! When a blow dryer is raked and the cuticle is ripped off your hair, all these things are happening at the microscopic level. And that's where you get to the point where your hair is so damaged and so broken that you got to do what? The big chop. Well, with BioStrand products, you don't have to whack your hair off because we start fortifying your hair almost immediately. After you finish with ToxaCleanse, then you go to your CleanseMe. CleanseMe helps to balance out the pH environment of your hair and leave the surface of your hair in its natural form. So what you're doing is removing all these elements that's covering up the potholes in your hair, for lack of a better term. What you need to be able to do is fill in those potholes with molecules that will keep the inside of the strands, because normally a pothole is going to exist in a bunch of strands all together, which is why you see those strands, bang, do this, because inside of your hair has positive, negative charges. And when the outside has been ripped off by abusive hairstylists or braiders and weavers and all of that, the inside of your hair starts sticking together, and it to the inside of the hair, which shouldn't see the inside of the hair strand next to it, but because the outside is torn all off the hair strand. See, this thing is deep. And the thing to realize is these are the things that are happening to you, and what are the effects of the elements and the types of ingredients that affect your body at the same time. Why? Because what's coating your hair is clogging up at the base of your hair where your hair strand grows out. You get all this buildup across your scalp where nothing can absorb, and you can't get any oxygen or any natural formulations in there. That's why ToxaCleanse and CleanseMe Step 1 are so critical to get you to a place where your hair is able to absorb and able to really get the information inside of the scalp. Information, the types of molecules, the type of your sage, nettle, chamomile, aloe vera, all of those elements help to soothe and create a more manageable pH, natural balanced environment in the follicle, which then helps your hair, because your hair grows in 3 phases. Your hair grows in the anagen phase for 4 to 10 years. Then it enters the catagen phase for about a month, where the older strand is being pushed out, a new bulb has developed, it is growing, and the older strand is releasing, and a new strand comes out in that position. You see, and it keeps growing for another 4 to 10 years. So if you're finding yourself with constantly short hair, you're finding yourself with, having a taper. I have not ever seen so many women who are using these mask-like makeup applications. The hair is being cut and trimmed so close on the sides that they're bald, and then there are lines being put in there, and the top of the hair is curly perm rotted, or some type of heavy hard gel is used to activate a curly effect in the hair that's left on the crown. And then that hair will be maroon, it will be blue, it will be orange. Different colors are in that hair. And guess what happens to the elements that are in that hair? Because most designers who are focused on what people see, they're not focused on what you don't see. Please hear me. Please hear me. Don't wait and end up with some type of debilitating illness because you didn't get all of the chemical out of your scalp the day you bleached or color treated your hair, or the day that you permed or straightened your hair with a straightener, or did perm rods, or just combed a chemical formula through there. Or, well, they had the one where you can put it in your mouth and all of that. But then when you put your head inside of that hooded dryer, that becomes a heated, high acidic environment. Okay, so when you heat up an acid-based permanent hair transforming type of product, because you are reconstructing that hair strand then. The market has been confused with conditioners that are called reconstructors. But when you are reconstructing your hair, it's when you're highlighting your hair, when you're coloring your hair, when you're permanent waving your hair, and when you're straightening your hair with a chemical formulation. That's what actually creates reconstruction of your hair. So the next time you walk into a salon and they say, oh, you look like you need a reconstructing conditioner. Well, reconstructing conditioners don't exist. Conditioners affect your structure in whatever state that it may be in. And that's what's important to realize, that reconstructing is not a process that you can do with chemical formulations. Now, with non-chemical formulations, these are all non-chemical, let me correct. These are all non-chemical corporations. So it's important that you realize that you are not changing your hair in any way. Forgive me. We got Siri over here talking on one of my phones. It's a little bit of a challenge sometimes having 3 or 4 phones, but it's the cost of, you know, what we do, right? We have to travel, we have to have communication devices. And so anyway, forgive me for that interruption. The point that I'm making is starting with a system like the Signature Collection will get you started on the road to healing your hair and seeing better hair performance without hair loss, without hair falling, or any of those things. Hey there, how's it going, Pedro? The point being that BioStrand absorbs in. And while I do have some people watching, let me tell you, you should go to www.biostrand.com, sign up as an affiliate, because BioStrand was the top selling product with Marshall Field for 5 straight years, from 1997 to 2005. There was 2004, forgive me, there was a big buyout of Marshall Fields right after the turn of the century, and the new people wouldn't pay their bills, so we had to leave. So we're only in the private sector now. And if you set yourself up as an affiliate and go out there and tell friends and family about this product and see the results, we were the top selling product with the highest customer satisfaction rate in the history of Marshall Field from 1997 to 2003. And that's because we are detoxifying, we are reoxygenating, and introducing supplements and nutrients through a simple misting formula. Look at this. And if you are in a family where you've got curly hair, straight hair, wavy hair, all you do is you switch out the creamy Forme and put in the light liquid Forme, which is another mist. If you've got naturally wavy or straight or very really fine hair, you can barely even see that mist. It has a wonderful fragrance to it. But what I find is most people, especially if they're doing color, hear me, you are not a natural person if you are streaking your hair, if you're coloring your hair, just because you're not putting a permanent wave in there. Believe it or not, the most volatile type of hair reconstruction that you can do is color. Because one of the biggest issues in the industry are people do not rinse all of the color out of the scalp. Just like back in the 70s and 80s with the permanent wave, and many people with over curly hair of African descent were wearing that permanent wave. And I'm not going to say any company names, but there was the rods and all of that, and then the hair is curly, shiny, and then all of this wet liquid mess was put on the hair, and the hair was always goopy, shiny, and sometimes beautiful to the touch. I mean, to the appearance, but to touch it, it had all this goop on it to keep it looking moist, even though the hair was completely dried out. And then the after effect, it started showing up in newborn babies. So you see, if you leave any chemical residue in your scalp as a mother, you need to get a system like BioStrand. Don't use the stuff that comes in the color box. Get BioStrand so that you can detoxify your environment. And if you're doing color or any type of permanent waving, I would say get both of the Forme mist. I'm getting a little sloppy. I'd say get both of the Forme mist into the hair. Let me show the people on YouTube Live as well. The Forme Mist is, what does that say? Pedro Thomas. The products do work. Thank you, Brother Thomas. The point that I'm making here is that all of these things that are going on with BioStrand are products that synergistically, what does that mean? They all hold hands. They all work together. They work in a domino effect. Once you detoxify, you're going to go in and intensify with your replenishing. And our product for replenishing is called Cortifex. You can use this product for 5 minutes, 3 minutes, or 35 to 50 minutes. It depends on the amount of damage that's in your hair. So watch this. I'm going to squeeze a bottle. Look at that. Look at the thickness of this product. Okay, we got a little air in there. Let me push it again. Look at that product. This is so thick and luxurious. I'm telling you, this product, when it absorbs into the hair, it is masterful at doing what? Reoxygenating the hair and scalp. When you get through rinsing this product, your hair glistens like you put some type of chemical formulation through it. And you have not. I'm telling you. The Cortifex will absorb. It's going to, let me talk to you a little bit about that. BioStrand introduced a theory of absorption, buffering, and penetration. Those three theories, those three disciplines. In the buffering, you get positive oxygen. In the absorption, you get positive oxygen to the hair and scalp. But in penetration, when you open up the bleach, when you open up that aniline derivative hair color, when you open up an exothermic perm, when you open up an ammonium thioglycolate or a guanidine or the potassium and calcium guanidine products, you are putting your hair at high risk. That's what we need you to understand. That the moment you turn to BioStrand, you are now combating the toxins and all of those different things that affect your hair. You know, and so I can sit here for the next 24 hours talking to you about what needs to happen to change your hair care system and to see effect from what you're doing. So let me finish explaining further. What we do, we have two disciplines. We have what's called structural enhancement, adding back and mending and getting your hair started. And then we have structural reinforcing and bacterial control. With our product Structuring 2.1, which is right behind Step 2, Cortifex, which gives replenishment, helps manage and re-strengthen and create responsiveness in your hair. And then Structuring 2.1 is used about once every quarter or every chemical exposure. What do you use it for? For the structure of the hair. You need to make sure that this product is absorbing and affecting strength to your hair. So it's not the first product that you use. You use this after you've exposed your hair and scalp repeatedly to our products that are in the replenishing side first. We say 3 to 6 applications of the replenishing, and you don't have to wait 5 or 10 days. You can use these products 6 days in a row on your hair, and by the 7th day be ready to do a strengthening. Why do you do it that way though? Because you need to expand your hair strand back out first. Remember what I told you, those platelets and globular surfactants that create a non-ionic environment, meaning all of your hair strands have the exact same charge value at the surface. Everything's negative. So when you have two of the same elements, what are they going to do? Like opposites attract, two hair strands that are coated with negative elements, they're both going to move away from each other, creating the illusion that you think that your hair is manageable when your hair is really choking to death. You see what I'm saying? And this whole illusion that's going on, I won't ever forget that. I've been doing hair since I was 11 years old. I finally left the computer industry and went back and did a couple of extra classes, finished up. But when I went back and started at a school downtown, I won't talk about names right now, the first thing that the instructor said, first day, welcome to the world of illusions. Well, this is not an illusion. Everything sitting before you is real. We're already in a world where everybody thinks, and I don't mean to go off the deep end, but drop your phone in the water and see if you can get some money out of the bank. Do you see what I'm saying? Everything's elusive now. When you have something tangible in your hand, like BioStrand, you can open up this cap, and wherever your scalp is burning with scalpicin, you can just squeeze the bottle, put it in there, and with your hair weave, instead of sitting up there doing all that. How many of y'all have seen women in public and they knocking all on the head and doing all this? Sitting at the guard's desk, sitting at the computer, they typing and knocking, hitting themselves in the head. You need to have something that you can oxygenate your scalp, control the bugs, control the worms, control the pustules, control the bacteria, the maggots, and the flies. Oh yeah, I've heard stories in some of the salons that used to carry our product. Our goal now, we don't mind working with salons, but salon owners don't know what we know. What they know is it's cheap and I can make more money. So come on in here and sit down, girl. And you sitting in there with 20 other people who are waiting to get their hair done. Let's keep it real now. And even in some of the top salons, they don't know what they're talking about. Do you see what I'm saying? I was invited to London for an international cosmetic review in which I was asked as a doctorate to introduce my products into and the purpose for how we are so effective. You see, at that time, we were in a major internationally identified retail center. We were in Marshall Fields in downtown Chicago, Water Tower, and all of the different Marshall Field stores all around Chicagoland. Anyone that's been with BioStrand for the last 31 years remembers that segment. And they also remember that I busted my butt to make sure that we worked with even the smallest salons that were only spending a little bit of money with us. But when we left Marshall Field, that's where our challenge came, because the little guys, all that they did was ran back and started buying the specials again instead of staying with a product that actually worked. The women that are still with BioStrand, many of their girlfriends have contracted ailments and different things, have had to either retire or have been retired from life. Now, am I suggesting that what comes into your scalp can affect your body? Ask the AMA. Right at the turn of the century, the American Medical Association printed in their journals that aniline derivative formulations are likely to cause potential long-term and terminal illness, i.e. cancer. You can look this up for yourself. All you got to do is Google it, right? And look at what the American Medical Association says about color formulas. See, the thing is, when you see an actress and they're all like, oh, somebody professional did that hair. They did not walk into a local drugstore and buy a hair care product and put it in their hair. Now, while I was training in Marshall Field, here's what you're up against when you walk in and you like the personality, you like the hairstylist's color potential and all of that. I'm sitting and training at one of the Marshall Field locations, and one of the persons of a different, culture, who was a master colorist at that store, let me tell you what she asked me. You know what's always baffled me, Mr. Thomas? I said, yes. She said, why doesn't the color all the way down into the scalp? Now, this person is working as a master colorist. Now, what are you thinking when you go to have brain surgery and you have to have a surgeon work on your brain like that? You know what I'm saying? Don't you expect that surgeon to know what they're going to find when they go into your brain? Don't make that mistake with someone who does hair. A hairstylist might be good aesthetically. They know how to blend certain numbers to get a certain color based on your natural color. Or they know how to modify and pull all the color out, which totally compromises the structure of your hair. Your hair becomes extremely fragile. And that whole uh, state of effect on your hair, I won't start using technical terms, makes your hair very, very weak. If you don't rebuild your hair, when they do the next thing, it gets weaker. And that's why you start seeing this. You got the color, or your hair looks thin and limp all of a sudden, whereas you normally have a nice full mane. It's because your hair has been broken down to such a degree that it can't even breathe anymore. It can't absorb anymore. It's just there like a thin, wet noodle. And then it starts breaking. Even when you shampoo your hair, the thing to understand is that that water even breaks your hair down. The salt bond and the hydrogen bond are both affected. And then ultimately, if the sulfur bond is weakened because the cuticle platelets blip, 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 have been pulled off your hair, what do you got left? You've got what's called the medulla, or which is the structure. And then inside is what's called the cortex. That cortex exposed is at risk. And if you don't know how to keep those molecules and those polypeptide chains in an exposed strand of hair now, just think about your house in the winter with all the windows busted out. That's what you're dealing with. You're attempting to control the atmosphere inside of your hair until the inside of your hair rehardens. Those molecules kind of strengthen up a little bit, but that doesn't happen for 24 to 72 hours. So there's after you shampoo your hair. So there's a lot of potential breakage that can happen when the cuticle has been eaten off by colors, by bleaches, by all those different things. And if you're having slow thinking, if you're feeling itching and burning and irritation in your scalp, that is because the chemical residue from those color systems and those permanent waves or whatever it is are absorbing into your scalp, eating away at your follicle, at the papilla, at the base of the follicle, that little bulb that's attached to the blood vessels and the capillaries that feed it. You see, and we're talking like microscopic now. So just think about that you have to get blood to every one of those over 150,000 strands of hair that are on your head. They are all individually supplied with oil, with supplements and nutrients and all those different things. And now you're introducing toxins that are eating away at the very existence of those veins and capillaries. Let me tell you why color doesn't happen. And I always let me just say the word. It's a helium tube. Let me tell you what it is. It's a glassy membrane that the Creator, that God put into the walls of your follicle where the hair strand comes out. Guess what? That glassy membrane keeps the hair strand from expanding and oxygenating below the scalp to keep out as many toxins as possible. That glassy membrane that's in your scalp, in this thin layer of skin, is protecting you and keeping you safe. Now, you can keep going into the grocery store or walking into stores. Oh, yes, that works. Yeah, go use that. We just got that in. And that's especially for your hair. Make sure you buy that right there. Based on what? What does this person know about the quality of your life and how long you will have a good life from stuff absorbing into your scalp that's negatively affecting every part of your body? See, this is a conversation that people don't like to have, but that's why I'm here. And I'm going to keep doing this until I draw my last breath. Why? Because you need to wake up and realize that by detoxifying, reoxygenating, consistently giving supplemental support to your hair and scalp environment, you are making yourself safer and you are extending the quality of your life. You're getting up every morning, smoothies, juice drinks, all of this. And you're eating plant-based and all that. And one of the things I recently learned, if it's in a package, don't call it plant-based. If it didn't come out of the ground, it's not truly plant-based. Plant-based comes out of the earth. And that's what is happening. I've gone from 287 to 265 now. And eventually this whole little bump right here is going to be gone because I'm eating the way you should be eating. You have to look at all of these things. I'm not going to go and now start boasting about how much knowledge I have of holistic body healing, but it's all part of the process. So what I'm saying is make sure that like for those women that you have the black pimples and things all over your body and your face and you know you're getting the keloids and things like that, pay attention to what's going in up here because you're getting a trickle down effect. I actually do a formulation that you can use that will remove all of those little tiny moles and things from your skin. So that's a special order formula though. You've got to contact us at 708-331-3556. We can talk with you, find out what issues you're having, and then do a special blend for you. Of course, it's going to cost based on the fact that we're making it special for you, but that's not something we're going to discuss on air. The point being that you can get rid of those zits and those toxic bumps and pustules and pimples that are really clusters of toxicity. You see, paying attention to what's happening to your body, you weren't born with those little things all over you. Why are you comfortable with those things? You've got to cleanse your body and then use something topical that will help to arrest and eradicate those bacterial growths that are rising up out of your skin. I had a couple of them on my neck. That's what made me do a formulation to get rid of that. Do you see what I'm saying? And so now you have to make sure, like even now, I color treat. You can tell because you can see my edges, the way I taper. The point is that I make sure that after I apply a color, I use Toxicleanse in combination with Scalpicin to remove any residue buildup. If you're using us for the first time, buy the complete collection. All 9 products that you see on the camera here, including Page, this product here. It's a hair thickening formula that helps to re-strengthen and protect your hair. Let me show it to you. And I'm going to show you the product sitting under it as well, if you give me a second. Page is what we call a hair thickening formulation. Uh-oh, it's not on camera. There you go. A hair thickening formulation. Now, when I stir this formula, and I'll probably have to use my finger. I don't have anything here. The moment that we stir this formulation, you saw it set still in the jar. If I stir it all the way to the base, look at it now. That same product will pour right out on the table here, on our table center. So you've got to see how a formulation like this, when you use it, only a little touch in every section where you're about to braid in some hair and all of that. Because let me tell you something, especially if you're using, any kind of hair that you use has the potential to lacerate your hair and cut it open. And then when you come back to do something different with your hair looks dry and brittle and it's breaking at every point where a hair weave or an interlocking or any type of a hair addition service added lacerations and open breaks in your hair, kind of like the way you'll cut a hot dog or a sausage. Every one of those braid laps, cut, and then your hair sticks together. But with Page, this formulation here, you can't see it, but it's moving slow. If I keep this jar like this, it's going to start pouring out. This is a formulation that stretches, that moves, that strengthens, and binds with the hair to keep it strong and protected without blocking the effect of this formulation. The mist, either one of them can still absorb past our hair thickening formula. You put gel, it's going to be a fight. It'll kind of help the gel to feel a little more touchable. But what I tell people is get BioStrand in your hair before you use those edge products and all that kind of stuff, because these mists will oxygenate your scalp. Does that make sense? You're oxygenating your scalp. There you go. And then when you've got oxygen, you have less of a chance of keeping on combing out hair as you are doing your edging and all that different stuff. You get to keep your hair. Most of these locking appearances now, with the locks braided up and pulled back on the guys and all this, and even women, all this is ball faded because the locks were breaking. That wasn't some creative design that was suddenly brought up. The locks were breaking. And that's what you got to realize, that all of these products in unison will help, I'm going to tell you, save your life. BioStrand used to have a campaign called Salvation for Your Hair. Why? Because these products really do work. I can even rub this on my skin and just be looking prettier. You know, BioStrand is a powerful natural formulation. Everything we make absorbs into your body, absorbs into your hair, absorbs into your scalp. How am I looking? So anyway, let me share this other product. Now we're getting into standalone support products. This is a product called Shea Butter, and it is a natural hot oil treatment. It's a solid formulation. You scoop some out, you heat it up. I would recommend you heating it with, like maybe something natural heat. If you can avoid the microwave, please do. This product has so many supplements and nutrients in it. And it's just, I'm telling you, we put every possible supplement that we could. Let me share some of them. We have in here, we've got camphor, we've got aloe, we've got sage, nettle, red clover, we have clover, we have lemongrass. I'm telling you, we have the supplements, lavender. There's about 15 different ingredients in this formulation. And the benefits are, and because I'm looking at it kind of close up here, but the benefits of this formulation, we literally threw the kitchen sink at this hot oil treatment. And what it does is it helps give the lubricity and the reoxygenation and the lubricity effect to your scalp. Even if you have an overactive sebaceous gland, your hair needs to be refreshed with non-toxic types of ingredients that help to build the hair and scalp. So your sage, your nettle, your aloe vera, you know what? Just look into these particular types of natural plant extracts and how they affect the body and especially affect the hair. I can't even tell you how important that is. So let me put this back and get our Paj 1.5 back up here. So you've got in your second generation is Ultralight for helping to lightly strengthen the hair. The original Forme, also a number 3, helps to moisturize, lightly strengthen, and keep pliability. Both have bacterial control agents to help with any type of bacteria, fungus, and things like that. Every product up here has some additives that help to keep bacteria and elements like that under control. These things are super important. Trust me, all you got to do is listen to what I'm telling you. Go to www.biostrand.com, sign up as an affiliate, get your affiliate code out there, email it. You got a dashboard now. You can text, email your friends, hey, this is a great product, been in the marketplace for 31 years, and you're missing out. That's what you're doing. So be sure and look at BioStrand from a holistic mindset. We're the first company to introduce that term in the hair care industry. WHOLISTIC, holistic, meaning your whole body is what we're concerned with. So please think about what we're talking about and be sure to look at BioStrand from the inside out. If we've got any questions out there, I'm going to give you the number again. Is 708 2313. 708, forgive me, 667 2313. If anybody would like to ask any questions about their hair damage, or anything like that, the BioStrand system is available. I've got one other item I think I can share. Where's my carry bag? My engineer should be coming soon to help us wrap up. But this is the brochure from the BioStrand store. And what we have is 8 panels. An 8-panel brochure so that you get all the information that you need. And if you look internally, you have something called the BioStrand Mix and Match section. And it'll help you understand how these formulas interact to help correct almost any problem that you have. If you have questions, you can go to www.biostrand.com and go on the chat, and we usually respond pretty quickly to any inquiries at biostrand.com. Now, this is a time of the year when, people start doing their thing with the vacationing and all that, and the specialty products and things like BioStrand. I, being in the industry as long as I have, noticed that people kind of push that off. Trust me, with the things that have happened to people's hair and scalp, this is not a decision that you should push off. This BioStrand Complete program will last you from at least 2 to 3 months. You won't buy this whole system again ever, because all you have to do is interchange the products that you run out of. If you're getting the quart size systems, we have those available as well in liters. But my goal to point to you is you've got to start on a regimen of holistic hair treatment, because whatever you're exercising, whatever you're putting in your mouth, whatever you think you're doing to live a healthier life, you're all on YouTube, you're all on TikTok and all of that, but you are overweight and you are toxic. Now, or your weight may be perfect and you look like the best thing since Eve or some superstar. I don't like to say names about people, but somebody who everybody thinks is beautiful, or some guy who everybody, oh, look at his body, look at how handsome he is. But then you're putting toxins up here. Think about it. It all ends up down here. And those toxic elements only have to travel to your heart, to your brain, which is right just under the skull, which is porous. These things that I'm talking about are serious. I'm not just on here. I'm talking to you about conceptual toxic poisoning that happens to any human being that overexposes themselves. A theory has been developed called cumulative chemical exposure. Do you even need to know the meaning of that once you hear it? It's being built up in your pores, affecting every part of your body. Every part of your body, trickling down while you're working out, and your muscles and everything are looking all good. Your abs are tight, but you poisoning yourself with hair bleaching or some other color you got in your hair, and you left the elements in the pores of your scalp to attack your lymph nodes and your lymphatic system. All you have to do is listen to some of these nutritionists out here that are telling you about supplements and nutrients that help to restore and renew the productivity and the enzymatic effect in those different body systems. But if you're still poisoning yourself, you're still opening the door to self-destruction. So really consider that I'm not a product salesman, but I'm a life salesman. I'm telling you that you buy BioStrand and you will unquestionably see a difference in your hair. And when you see a difference in your hair, it'll inspire you to look differently at a whole lot of things. Because you're not walking into presentations anymore and somebody's walking up brushing your shoulder because you've got too much dandruff on your shoulders or your back. Or worse, they're picking hair strands off of you. Every time you look out, your Swiffer in the bathroom is full of hair off the top of the cabinet, off the dresser, off the sink tops. BioStrand is here to help you fully replenish and restore your hair. The way we do that is that we detoxify, reoxygenate, and naturally nutritionalize your hair and scalp environment, all in the grooming process. The moment you start BioStrand, you start healing and looking better. And anybody walking into a board meeting, walking into the Supreme Court, walking into a stock meeting with investors, you need to not only look your best, but feel confident and feel great at the same time. Don't keep using toxic products that activate different issues with your brain, your ability to see and hear. All of these things are right up there near your brain and your vision system. Think about that. Use something that's of a discipline that reverses the negative effects and also makes your color brighter, your perm sharper and more defined. That's what BioStrand does. We don't do the color, but we make it brighter. We don't do the perm, but we keep it from being fuzzy. So if you just look at it from that perspective, that ought to give you a thought. Man, these people are doing something different. We offer 100% money back guarantee, but you got to use the system the way we're suggesting that you use it, and you will absolutely, positively see results. We've been doing this now for 31 years, and we're going to continue to press. There are new team members coming in that are led in a positive way, that live honest lives, that live and look for resourcing that helps them to enjoy a quality of life in not just what they're doing, but what they do for a living and how they know that this particular product positively affects people's lives. Believe me, if I thought that we were doing anything to hurt a human being, like the number of products that I've seen over the years, I had to go out to Hawaii for 4 months to reverse this one big product that everyone kept talking about. That one product that everybody started buying, and the next thing you know, there were women all over the place that had issues with balding in the crown, looking like bozo. They had the toilet seat effect. I'm not going to say the name of the product, but they had everybody buying it for about $29 on a subscription agreement, and then the products cost in excess of about $250 for each release of the product. And the suggestion was, you don't have to shampoo your hair. Just put this in your hair every time you need to groom your hair and wet your hair. And that product went on to create havoc, actual havoc. So with BioStrand and with the Holistic Hair Restoration collaboration, we're here to say to you that concept preceded products, and now the answer is available and tangible in your hands to reoxygenate. And remember, with the ultralight, this one helps to re-strengthen the microfibers in your hair that get weakened from color and different things like that. If you have naturally straight hair with a comfortably active sebaceous gland, the ultralight is for you. If you have over curly, kinky, and wavy hair textures that are coarse and dry, the Forme Original is for you. We've got an answer for every person. If you've got a hair weave or anything like that, if you have locks, put half your Finay into your Forme, and then you get both products misted into the hair to oxygenate it at the same time. So there you have it. My engineer, I think, is on his way back, so we can go ahead and wrap this thing up. We've had a wonderful opportunity to talk with you today. Let me encourage you again. This is painless. You don't even have to move. You can go right into your phone right now. Go to www.biostrand.com and hit the 3 bars up on the right corner of your phone. It'll give you a drop down that says affiliate, join our affiliate program, and you can click there. Once you do that, it's going to give you an email, and then it's going to ask you to create a password for your account, and then it's going to immediately generate your affiliate code and open up a dashboard for you. Right there on the spot, you can go and start texting or emailing to friends and family. It even has an introductory letter already written for you. All you're doing is plugging in your name and then putting the email or the text number for the person, and it will populate that person's number into your invitation to start making additional revenue, which we deposit into a PayPal account that the system will have you to set up. And once we release your PayPal payment to you, you are off and running. Yes. All right. So, folks, we're glad to have been able to sit with you today on the BioStrand sponsored Saving Your Hair with Holistic Hair Restoration Specialist Ron L. Thomas Sr. So believe me, these 31 years that we have had a perfect track record of helping and healing hair, we continue to do that, and I'm looking forward to it. I thank God every day that He chose me to be at the forefront and in the leadership and the pillar of this company. And so we thank you from our station here, and we're glad you're with us, and we hope that you'll come in again. On next Wednesday, we're going to bring up some testimonials that we have. But in the meantime, you can also find instructional videos on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. And if you have any questions, you can send those questions through our chat at www.biostrand.com. We'd like to say thank you. Enjoy your supplements and nutrients. The ones that don't go through your mouth, get them through your scalp, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Thank you for tuning in, and please share this video